What's going on, people? All right, I'm just testing out some things right here, and I actually have to go to work soon. I wanted to talk a little bit about the education system, and I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm trying to be quiet because my roommate is in the next room. He might be sleeping, I don't know, but you know, education is a big thing with MGTOW, but I wouldn't so much say that it necessarily means that like basically public school education, although that is a big thing, or that can be a big thing if that's the route that you want to take. I tend to believe that the current education system, it creates the cycle that we are in that has kind of caused MGTOW, and that, and unless you're going to go into like some kind of STEM course, you know what I mean? Unless you're going to be, how can I put, unless you are like very exceptional and you know that, then, you're pretty much, one of these students that like, they're advancing for whatever reason, you know what I mean? They're taking you out of, like there were certain students when we were in, I don't know. In retrospect, I don't think they were that smart. You know what I mean? They may have been good at math or like exceptionally good at math for their age. You understand what I'm saying? It's really hard to, it's like people with college degrees and educations are some of the dumbest people I've ever met, is what I'm trying to tell you. But they're very good at memorizing things and doing what they're told. If you are good at that, if you're good at memorizing things and just doing what you're told and you don't care, you'll just do whatever it takes to get a paycheck. You don't give a damn about anything really. Then yeah, academia, college, getting a career as a doctor, getting a career as a scientist or a physician or a chemist or something like that, then yeah, that's probably the path for you, is what I'm trying to say. But education is so much more than public, or I would say that's for most men, for most males. I was going to say males, men. I'm like mid-men. But for most men, or most males, I want to say, because we're not necessarily talking about men. We're talking about boys from, youth all the way up to, young males going to school. Most men, the education system, even if you finish early, jerks you around for a long time. And unless you're under full scholarship, is going to get you in a lot of debt. So I don't understand these people that are directing kids into the same education system that we talk about is causing all the problems, getting you in debt, brainwashing our youth, teaching us, on one hand, there's unlimited genders, but on the other hand, to worry about the weather. And, this climate change stuff, most of it is bullshit. Does the climate change? Well, yeah. It's bullshit as far as, can you do anything about it? Nope. You can't do a damn thing about it. So they had kids panicking over global warming in the 80s and another ice age in the 70s. You know what I mean? And to tell you the truth, man, well, I don't want to get on a tangent, but I'm just saying, like, these schools brainwash kids and get them all worked up about issues that we don't even, you can look at the covers of Time magazine and it was like, it was just like polar bears disappearing, AIDS gonna kill everybody, the coasts are shrinking and all this stuff. And it's like, and now here we are. This was all in the 70s, 80s and all that stuff, 70s and 80s. Now here we are. Very few people I know died of AIDS. I had sex. I had unprotected sex with a girl in the 80s, and then I found out, and I got crabs from her basically, and then I found out she was a real skank, and she would go to like metal, rock concerts and metal concerts, and and just fuck all the metalhead, just get banged out in a car by metalheads, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna catch AIDS. And I one morning, I'm telling you the truth, man, one morning I turned pale white because I basically was having an anxiety attack of some sort. And I was like, I think I was 17 actually. I was going through a lot of turmoil, getting ready to quit school. Couldn't find a decent girlfriend. Ended up banging all these nasty sluts and shit all the time. It was always some nasty slut that guys were, I'd find out later guys were taking turns on her. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. And so one morning, after the AIDS scare, I turned pale white. I went for a walk, walked probably 4 miles. I didn't even know where I was going. I was like a zombie. I was walking down the street going, oh man, I hope I didn't catch AIDS. You know what I mean? And that means I could have 10 to 15 years to live. And that means I'm 17. I'll be dead by the time I'm 30 or something, and I just turned pale white and I was afraid to go to the hospital. I was like, should I go to the hospital and get tested? I was like, man, I had sex with a girl and I could get AIDS and die now. And literally, it was, this is the type of shit they were doing to us. This is all public school. The public schools don't tell you, don't listen to those headlines. That's the government trying to use fear to control everybody. They don't tell you that in school. So my point being is, I don't know these people that are directing everybody into the exact education system that is ruining everything, ruining the country. But, I'm trying to say that is for a certain amount of people that will just keep their head down, shut the F up and do what they're told. Basically, you know what I mean? And if you are that smart that you're gonna breeze through high school and go to college and breeze through college and get everything paid for, or that, I don't want to say that intelligent. If you are that type of person, I don't call that intelligence. You know what I mean? And science doesn't have all the answers either. It's constantly changing. Science is as bad as quote religion is. You know what I mean? Is what I'm trying to say. There's multiple genders. Pluto's a planet. No, it's a binary planet. Or it's a planet with a moon. Oh no, it's a binary planet. You know what I mean? No, there's 10 planets in the solar system, Oh no, now there's 11. No, there's 13. You know what I mean? It's like this. What happened before the Big Bang? Well, we don't know. It's on. Who created God, Mr. Priest? Well, we don't know. No, I don't know. Nobody created God. And then, go to a scientist. What made the Big Bang? Well, I don't know. Same thing. I don't care what anybody says. Same thing. I'll debate anybody on it. Science is categorized. I don't. How do you say this? I don't debate that there's gravity. What I debate is you just call it gravity. You just be like, yep, that's gravity. You don't know what the fuck that is. Nobody knows what that is. You just see something happening and you categorize it. Oh, okay. Every time I drop something, it falls. And yep, that's gravity, and that proves it's just a universal force. You don't know that. You don't know what. Nobody knows anything. All science does is science is handy because it allows you to observe things. But I can be a Christian and observe my environment and take advantage of it. You understand what I'm saying? And make predictions based on patterns that I see in the environment. You understand what I'm saying? And then, however, meticulous and detailed you want to get, basically down to the, math and decimal points and fractions and fractions of fractions and all that stuff. Yeah, that all can be handy to like make predictions, to figure things out. But most things that have been figured out through error, through basically trial and error, and making mistakes and going, oh, look what happened when we mix those two compounds together. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's science. Science isn't all. I mean, it's not all that. It's not all that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of BS, and funding goes into. In other words, if I came up with any kind of proof whatsoever against global warming, because they're trying to scare the SHIT out of the public with global warming, I would get no funding. And that's, you understand what I'm saying? And you can talk to, who was it? Hey, what's up, Jody? Yeah, science equals theory. And you can talk to scientists that talk about how if you're if you're like in academia, you're with all your professor buddies, and you come up with that and you find any amount of proof that undermines the status quo, you're just out. You'll just be outcast, and you'll get, you know what I mean. The pressure will be amazing. They'll make, all your peers will just make fun of you, and this goes on. So we don't know what the truth is, because you're in class going, yes sir, I believe whatever you say, as long as I get an A and I can get a paycheck when I get out of here, yes sir. You know what I mean? As long that guy teaching you that, somebody could have came up with something that completely disproves everything that all these other scientists have already banked on. You understand what I'm saying? And they told him to get effed, and you know what I mean? And now you're in class listening to some BS, and you understand what I'm saying? So all this stuff about college, and most of it's a load of crap. I would say learn a trade. If you're going to go to college, learn a trade first. Have a way to make, there's welders that make like $5,000 a week. You understand what I'm saying? Learn a trade for most males, unless you're like Mr. Brainiac and I don't mean brainiac like you understand reality better, because like I said, most people with degrees are some of the dumbest people I've ever met. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you got 5 degrees, man. What I found out is you believe everything you're told by somebody who's your superior. That's why you have 5 degrees, and because you have like a really good memory, and you don't need to study as much as maybe some other people, and blah blah blah, on and on. It's true. My teacher told me it's true because I've watched it. Back in 2001, 2002, my doctors didn't know what GMO food was, genetically modified organisms, and my doctor didn't know, nor did he care. My doctor didn't care that most, if I went to a physician, he didn't give one damn that the soil in our country is depleted, and farmers are growing vegetables with Miracle Grow that your body was designed to need like 90 different nutrients, and you can get by on some, but it's going to shorten your life or possibly cause disease. You know what I mean? There's like 90 different vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and certain things that your body has to have to take and heal things, and to you know what I mean? And does that? And if I get sick, my doctor doesn't give one. They didn't teach him that in college. They just said, yeah, this food, this food is for this food's for that. Yeah, if it's grown properly, broccoli is good for you if it's grown in soil full of rich nutrients. This is common knowledge. We stopped rotating crops and just started all this big giant agro, and they throw down some Miracle Grow and some pesticides and this and that, and you're just eating fiber, and you're just eating basically. You might as well eat leaves. I mean, there's nothing in it, but your doctor's like, well, this is what you need to eat to get better. And then you go to the supermarket and buy some mass-produced broccoli that was grown in depleted soil with Miracle Grow that has nitrogen, phosphate, and whatever the three things that a plant needs, not you, the three things that broccoli needs. So I'm giving you a stone cold example of like doctors not knowing anything about nutrition, but they got a degree in a Corvette and a trophy wife, and you're gonna fucking die, and they don't care. They're gonna ride off into the sunset on vacation with their trophy wife, and you're gonna eat food with no nutrition in it. And so I would say trade school, and that even like it would be cool if MGTOWs men, if we could get a kind of fraternity, like a nationwide fraternity in every town where like MGTOW guys employ other MGTOW guys and teach them trades and stuff. A MGTOW guy is going to be more dependable probably than a guy who's out getting laid and doing drugs. I kicked a guy out of my house the other night that was trying to sneak in with the girl upstairs. So I'm getting sick of him seeing his face around. And I was like, get the F out of my house, you effing fat, you effing FAGGOT. And he was like, oh, and I went, oh, at him like that. I was like, get that out of here. And he left, and then he like was peeling out in my driveway going, come on, I'll fight you anytime. And I was like, all right, go get a sword. Like I tell all these tough guys that want to fight, you go get fighting's for pussies. Let's fucking kill each other, right? You're a real man. Let's kill each other. And then you'll never have to see my little face again. So you go get a sword or something sharp, and you come back here, and I'll get my sword, and I'll come out and fight you. I made my sword. It's not a cheap sword. It's not a cheap sword from China. I have a short sword made out of carbon steel, basically. I'll break your cheap sword from China and chop your arm off. But the point is I'm sick of. I want to go back to the old ways and just have duels to the death. There's so many assholes. This country is so disgusting with guys like him. I found out everything about him. I'm not going to say his name, but he's just a druggie, wannabe biker druggie that gives the women, gets drugs for women and has sex with them. And I don't want him in my house. He's a effing dirtbag. McDonald's all day. Johnny. No, I hear you. I wish I could go hang out with, you're over in like Scandinavia, right? Wish I could go hang out there, Johnny, for a little while. It'd be fun. Maybe I could get a job and get the fuck out of here. It's fine. I was trying not to swear and I just swore. Dang it. I can't get through one. I should have I should try to every episode I should like try to, or I should be like have a challenge where I don't swear. Oh, you're in the UK? It's probably worse over there than it is here. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I would fit in really well over there. Maybe that's my calling, is to get the hell out of America, and I don't even know it because I'm just too smart for a lot of Americans. I'm not as educated. I might not be as educated as, like, I think they actually teach other, like some UK people would probably know my country's history better than I know my country's history. But I think a lot of history's BS now too, I'll tell you. Like, a lot of truth in it too, I'm sure, but a lot of it's BS. But I would learn a trade. I would learn a trades all day. Concrete, foundations, roofing. Roofing's a tough job. All that stuff. Well, construction in general is pretty tough, but just stuff like that. Mechanics, be a mechanic. You know what I mean? Just really practical stuff that's not going to get shipped over to, that's not going to get shipped over to another country. And you're still going to have to compete with foreigners and illegal aliens that get hired by a lot of contractors, but that might be ending now too. I don't know, or maybe not. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's not just women that we're competing with. We're competing with foreigners, illegals. I mean, the American male is pretty screwed. UK is cucked too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like there would be any advantages to me moving to the UK. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, even just bugging out in general, all the, and this whole bugging out is, most of that is BS. I mean, there's really you got about a 1% chance of you ever needing your bug out bag. Now, if bugging in, your bug out bag could come in handy because it's more supplies. It's another sleeping bag. It's another this, a tent, whatever. You know what I mean? Bugging in. See, it's like your bug out bag would probably be coming more handy bugging in and holding out in your own household than it would come in handy bugging out. It's crazy, man. But the reason that came to mind is like, if I don't know, moving to any other country is so much the answer. If you don't like, if it's that bad, if you can't handle it, I mean, if it's to the point you can't handle it where you're gonna run off somewhere, try to get away, there's nowhere to go. I mean, it's your best bet at that point is to get about 10 years worth of storable food and just move, so you don't starve to death, and just just go off into out into one of these state parks way out in the middle of nowhere and just lose yourself. You know what I mean? Just don't live in the cities. You should be good. Yeah, huh? That's exactly how it is in America. It's better. I wouldn't say it's good, but it's better to not live in the cities almost. I don't know, man. It's such a shame that it's come to this where I got to sit around and even think about this stuff. But things are going good as far as my little life right now. I got, like, money's not too much of a problem right now. And I got health care. I'm getting an operation soon. I have a hernia. I gave myself a hernia, so I got to deal with that. I've never had to get an operation for something or before, so wish me luck. It's my first time. I hope it's not. It's like it's nothing. It's probably like day surgery. I'll be in and out. They'll probably give me some painkiller and send me on my way. I'm sure they're pretty good at doing hernia operations by now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cities are totally artificial, and the people are just, I don't know, man. They're like totally disconnected. They're totally disconnected from, like, reality, even more so than people that at least live out in the country, that are a little bit more in touch with reality and the environment and everything. These people in the city, it's like they just, I don't know, man. It's just in there, it's like, I don't know. It's like a concentration of human activity, which can be positive, but also has a lot of drawbacks. And I don't know. It's crazy. So I'm just doing a short morning podcast, and I wanted to talk a little bit about education and how that is it's almost the main enemy that is, like, taking all of young men's minds and twisting them, not making sure that they're completely out of touch with reality until they graduate and then find out they've wasted all this time in school, and that the world works completely differently than they were told, basically. And you know what I mean? And they were worried about things like, I'm not saying that there might not be environmental issues and environmental catastrophes, but they'll have you more worried about that than say, hey, what am I going to do if I ever have to go to court? You know what I'm saying? Because it's more likely that you're going to end up in court for a false allegation from some woman than you're going to go through, then global warming is going to destroy the earth in your lifetime. You understand what I'm saying? So they use the public schools get the kids all hyped up over these, what are called hot button issues. Now, if you can keep a cool head, you can play all the games in the public school, and you got like a semi-photographic or photographic memory, then good for you. But just know, the higher you climb, the system's going to use you for your own destruction. If you get into science, look at where all these sciences are going. They want to microchip people. You know what I mean? You talk about pollution, like you're going to say, go get an education and go to college and make a lot of money. Yeah, destroying the environment. Then now the same guy that's all up in arms about global warming and factories and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Is going to tell you to go get an education so that some corporation or government can use you to go build bombs. That's what my one of my best friend's sisters growing up was, quote, wicked smart, and meaning she just stayed home and did homework all the time. And while we were all out riding our bikes and doing real stuff, and what did she do? She went to MIT to do what? To build bombs for the government. She eventually got hired by a company that builds bombs. She don't have a problem with that, apparently. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. So just understand, you're probably going to be used, for. I would rather men start getting their heads out of the education system. Survive it long enough to get your diploma, but then go into a trade. If there's a trade school in your area, try to get your parents to put you in a trade school to where you can learn actual practical real life skills. Military's probably a good option for a lot of people, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But just understand that the powers that be, it's almost best to try to get your own business going to where you can try to have your own morals and your own ethics and run in your own hours and run your business the way you want to. And then you can be a force for, maybe, like I said, helping out, being a part of the solution to where you can hire other MGTOWs or something. You know what I mean? Like, you can spot them a mile away. You know what I mean? Like, if you talk to people long enough, and you can interview in such a way that you can find young men that are decent, that are MGTOW type minded men. You know what I mean? That are and then or you can, you know what I'm saying? You can use your power that you built. If you have your own business and money and all that stuff in your own hours, and you make your own rules, you can start molding people the way you want. It's getting light out. I gotta go. So have a good day or evening, and stay MGTOW for now.